I am here, and we have our teacher rep, Scopis is here, and our student rep, Glenn is here, and Mr. Mullaney.
Here.
All right. This meeting is being recorded and can be viewed on Mondays at 7 p.m. on Comcast Channel 8 or Verizon Channel 37. All meeting videos are also posted to the Millis Public Schools website under School Committee. All videos are also available on YouTube. All school committee minutes and agendas can be found on the school committee page of the Millis Public Schools website. Persons wishing to speak during open session must sign in before the meeting starts. Comments are not to exceed 3 minutes in time. Individuals may not name students, staff, or parents. All topics for discussion must be limited to those items listed on the evening's agenda, and all comments must be directed to the chair. The committee may not respond to public comments. It shall be their discretion to discuss issues at a later date, and all times are approximate. Did anyone sign in for open session?
No, I don't have. Did anybody need to sign in? No?
Okay. Nobody in open session. So we will start with our student rep. Ben, would you like to come on up?
You brought us a gift. No, that's. You bought us a gift?
No.
I was
Ben,
gifted.
you're one of the best, if not the best.
It's in plastic wrap.
So this is Ben's last school committee meeting.
Oh,
He's going to be
Ben.
leaving us, so a gift from
Thank
us
you.
to Ben
So-
for his service.
I'll pretend
Oh, you don't have to.
my mother would get very upset with me.
Is that
All
a
right.
Colgate mask?
I'm-
No.
Your mask.
Your
Oh,
mask.
it is a Colgate mask, actually.
Oh,
yes.
Good for
very
you.
nice.
Excellent. Congratulations, Ben.
Yeah.
Thank you. So next week will be the senior project presentations, the week of the 15th through the 20th. So pop by the public library if you'd like to watch any of those. Spanish, AP Spanish, and the AP Bio exams will be tomorrow. And a special shout out and good luck to Ryan Mullen, who will be taking both of those tests tomorrow. Seniors, make sure any expenses or class dues that you need to pay are in by the end of this week. If you do not get them in soon, like very soon, you will not be able to participate in any senior week activities. So make sure that everything is paid. You should have gotten a form saying what you didn't pay and what you've already paid, so check that. Furthermore, that is a form that you need to pass in to Ms. Sullivan. She said that she hasn't gotten a lot of them yet, so please make sure that you pass those in to participate in senior week activities. Tomorrow, the 11th, is also the National Honor Society induction for the juniors. We have 41 wonderful new junior inductees. And finally, seniors, our parting 2 days, we will have a Hawaiian theme for Thursday, and we will wear our senior jerseys on Friday, which will be our last day.
Thank you. Thanks, Ben.
Congratulations,
Good
Ben.
luck.
Good luck.
Thanks for all your work on this.
Thank you so much. All right. Scopis, yes, come on up. Who are next? Our teacher rep.
So in our every other week model, it's sunny and cold tonight. What will it be 2 weeks from now?
Right.
Fun adventure. Alrighty. So, grade 5 has MCAS next week on Monday and Tuesday. Very exciting for them. It's MCAS season. The art show is back at the CFB, which I actually am really excited about because those were great when we would go. So it's on Friday, May 20th from 5:30 to 7:30 in the gymnasium. And the Clyde Brown will be holding a book fair May 31st to June 6th with a special night for families on the 3rd. Folks can check out the newsletter for more details and links and cashless ways to shop. The CFB Home and School Association is having an adults night out, a prom theme, so to speak, and it will be to support the whole school. You can also check out the newsletter for more details on how to procure tickets and what have you. Participants need to be 21 or over to attend. So this is the adult prom. Maybe it's a chance for a duel for folks who need one. I don't know. At the middle school drama club hosted the Massachusetts Theater Guild's Middle School Drama Fest Regional Festival a week ago on Saturday, and they hosted schools from St. John's Prep, Furnace Brook Middle School. There's a couple of others. Our school also put a play on called Backspace, and they won a silver medal at the festival. And our very own Mr. Bush got to spend the day in the sound booth doing lights and sound. So it was I popped in and the energy was amazing. The middle school kids were so excited to be able to do this. So that was a nice opportunity. In some grade level news, in grade 6, their math MCAS is the 15th and the 16th. And then they're going to follow it up with yoga on the 18th. They'll probably need to stretch out a little bit at that point. In grade 7 math, they've been learning about exponents and integers as they prep for their math MCAS coming up. And they're pretty excited because the weekly math homework is coming to an end very shortly as we approach the end of the year. So that's exciting. And the trout from Miss Hickey's room have been released out into the wild. So if you are a trout fisher person, you could be catching one of our little homegrown. Miss Cheney released her trout a couple weeks back. So all the trout are gone now. The trout were some of Miss Mulaney's only friends during the spring of 2020.
Spring of 2020, just me and the fish.
I don't know why they grow faster downstairs than upstairs. I feel like there's a science experiment waiting to happen there. In grade 8 news, the 8th grade students were interviewing the high school seniors. They were reinforcing the interview activities meant to reinforce social skills and sort of push those 8th grade students outside their comfort zones. And then they created slides to sort of share the senior wisdom with their peers. And I guess one of the interesting things was some of the seniors remembered doing this assignment way back in 2018 when they were 8th graders. So that was kind of a fun one. And the 8th graders have also been using solar energy to power up their calculators for their MCAS, which is coming. They're doing it like literally today. They finished. Excellent. And then in the grade 8 students, they actually got to go on a field trip outside of the building. So they headed to the State House, and that was followed up by a trip to the Red Sox, which while they did not win, I believe the students still had a good time. So that's exciting for them. At the high school, the Valedictorian and Salutatorians were announced, and so the Valedictorian is Colin Streck, and the Salutatorian is Riley Conroy. So that was exciting news coming out. The seniors got that news last week. The STEAM Scholars Class of 2024 cohort all did their acceptances this week. So we have Ryan Berube, Troy Blanchette, Arias Johnson, Monacy Kale, Aiden Ludwig, Anthony Maestri, Maddie Martone, Lindsay Murillo, Addie Ply, Julianne Roy, Lucy Sisto, and Adriana Bellisi. They are all going to be joining. So there's 12 of them. We're excited. And our current senior cohort of STEAM scholars did their final presentations to the STEAM group this week. So we have presentations from Riley Conroy and Jess Kahn. Riley was looking at building solar cells with blackberry juice, which was kind of exciting to see happen. It worked. And then Jess Kahn was doing curriculum at the elementary school with Ann Veluzzi, his mentor, to expose the elementary students to sort of the hardware of computers in hopes of sort of energizing the younger generation to go into some of those STEM fields. Tom Azir will be sharing out with us next week. He had an AP exam on that day. So it was kind of exciting to see that happen. And our current junior STEAM students are in the throes of settling on their capstone projects right now. So they kick off those projects in the spring of their junior year versus waiting till the fall of their senior year. Ben didn't mention it, but the Pops concert is on Thursday evening in the cafeteria. So they're featuring music this year from, let's see, what do we have? Oh, The Breakfast Club, Encanto, Alice in Wonderland, Hunchback of Notre Dame. So it'll also be a combination with the awards ceremony, so feel free to pop in and have some corn while you watch our colorfully festooned students. Mrs. Norton has been working very diligently on her costume, so that'll be kind of fun to see. The Millis AP US History class competed with Medway High School's AP US History class in the Battle of the Brains, and they had their three-peat this year. So that was prep for the A-Push test, which happened last week, and so Millis once again beat Medway, which is very exciting. I know that that's a long-term rivalry that happened, I guess, because we broke away. Was it like a secession or something a couple years ago?
It's a real long-term rivalry then, right?
Yeah.
Did that happen like 300 years?
That Lansing Millis, he was a crazy guy. Fun fact, Lansing Millis is buried in Troy, New York. Not too far from RPI, just for another fun fact for the morning. All right, the senior rolling.
Guess who grew up in Troy, New York?
Who did?
That would be me.
You grew up in Troy?
Yeah.
I grew up in New Lebanon, New York.
Huh.
So we
Yes.
come over the mountain quite a bit. If you lived on that end of town.
Yeah.
Otherwise you went to Pittsfield, so. It's a
Yeah.
nice place. The
Did
birthplace
not
of
know.
Uncle Sam.
Yes. Yep.
See, I learn something new here every time I come. And
He
now
took
I'm
you off your game. Look at this.
I'm going to recover beautifully. Watch this. So we have our rolling rally on Thursday which will kick off at 6 p.m. from the Clyde Brown Library, Clyde Brown parking lot, not the library, that would be terrible. And it will culminate in the high school lot with a bonfire, food, and a mentalist.
That's Friday, right?
That's Friday. Did I say Thursday?
He
Because
took,
we had
you,
the
he
pups.
took you off your game.
I did. He's not allowed to do that. Which then brings us to the prom, which is on the 20th. So there'll be fun follow-up details on that one. The students, the buzz is out there. It's very exciting. We have Math MCAS next week on the 17th and the 18th here, and that's our second to last round for the season. Mrs. Thurston is doing her final MCAS prep with the students, and the buzz is very excited. Let's see, I'm excited to announce I got a merit grant to procure materials, instructional materials, hardware around renewable energy that I can use with both the CFB outreach we do, but also up at the high school. I attended a workshop through the NEED project, which sort of walked us through how to use the same hardware to teach all the grade levels. So it's pretty exciting.
Excellent.
The focus, it was funded, so that was funded by Mass Saves, and then of course Merit funded me to buy more equipment. So the Mass Saves gave me a lot of equipment, and then Merit gave me more. And basically the idea is to sort of track back where your electricity is coming from, and why, you know, electricity isn't the panacea right now because it's still being derived primarily from non-renewable resources. So I'm really excited about that, so thank you very much, Merit. Terpsichore had their spring recital last Friday, and so that was a really nice evening. We followed it up with our banquet. And on district level, our last one for tonight is the early release next Friday. So the Clyde Brown and the middle school will be working primarily on placement. Middle school and high school science teachers, we have a secondary follow-up Gizmos training for that particular app that we've been using for simulations. And the high school will be working partially on placement, partially on scheduling for next year, and partially on finalizing goals for this year and making sure pre-assessments and things are ready to go for when we hit the fall next year. So it's a busy time of year. Sorry to occupy so much of your evening, but there's so much going on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you guys have a central New York sort of greeting now, or
It's really not
always not
central.
central.
It's
Is it?
really eastern.
Eastern upstate?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
upstate. It's not New York.
I'm just asking questions. so-
Yeah, central.
I don't know why you're angry.
Central's like,
It's
yeah.
It's where
Yeah.
Ben's going to Colgate and, you know,
Yeah.
out there in the,
Fenway.
Is he close to the founder of Millis's gravesite?
not particularly.
Okay.
It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
All right.
So Lansing Mills, yeah, he's buried in Troy. It's a fun one.
Didn't know.
I'm looking forward to more upstate New York facts next meeting.
I can give you one right now. Where I grew up, the Shaker Company actually had their own seed company. So I grew up in the birthplace of the Shaker culture.
Ah, that is
And
interesting.
Samuel Tilden, who lost the electoral vote but won the popular vote, also buried in my hometown. And his childhood home became a world-renowned Japanese restaurant during the late 60s through the early 80s.
Excellent.
There you go.
We're learning all the time.
Yeah, lifelong learner. I love it.
Yes, Rutherford. I was always very angry at Rutherford B. Hayes. We had he was not our favorite president. in
Oh,
my
I
town.
understand that.
Ah,
Of course.
For a whole town to not like Rutherford B. Hayes is kind of utter though. Generations.
It's groupthink. I like it. Goodbye, Miss Capiz.
thank you so much. Have a good week. All right. Well, the rest of the meeting is going to be
No one
boring
watches these. They should.
compared to this.
Right?
How do I follow that? That was
Rhode Island
awesome.
Day.
There's a lot of things in Rhode Island. Most are not good.
Okay, let's move along to our action items. Consideration to approve our meeting minutes from the 26th.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion to approve the Millis Public Schools School Committee meeting minutes from April 26, 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. The next one on the list is the consideration to reorganize the board, but we're not going to do that because we're missing 2 members. So we'll put that on the docket for next meeting. Moving along to the next one, the consideration to reduction in fees for the Mohawk Pride basketball camp in June.
So, Madam Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
Mr. Mulaney, this is we're now transitioning and learning. In the past, we've had notes from what we did the previous year for reductions or elimination. Do you recall,
I'm gonna
or does any of the
pull it up.
committee members recall what we did last year?
Yeah, I'm
I think
gonna pull it up.
we
One
said
second.
none
Yeah, that's what I believe we've said none. They play
for the
custodian.
two coaches.
Yeah, for both.
We have this-
Madam Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion to eliminate Waive, sorry. It's been a long day. To waive the fees for the Mohawk Pride basketball camp to be run on June 20th through June 24th. If a custodian is required, they would be required to pay for that. That is something we never waive, as we have to pay that person directly.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I just want to say that I pulled up the spreadsheet that we have, and it goes back to the 2019 request. It just says that it was like $780 was waived for the Pride basketball group.
We don't. They did it last year. Do we know what happened in
Last year I just have Millis youth basketball on there.
I'm comfortable with my motion.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just.
No. I get it.
Because I think, because we've done different, we were in one, and we switched the last year or two to just waive them all. For both of these camps.
I think for the last 2 years, that's what we decided.
Yeah,
because
I
with
believe so.
COVID
Yeah.
and things like that, yeah. Okay, moved and seconded. I lost where my thing is. 1 second, sorry. Agenda. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay,
Madam Chair,
Mr. Conroy.
I make a motion that we approve the senior week trip to the Roger Williams Zoo. We have to approve it because it's an out-of-state trip. There's going to be we don't need chaperones, and they're not taking any buses. They're driving themselves.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. The Roger Williams Zoo is in Rhode Island, Robert. And it's an excellent zoo. They were one of the first zoos locally to get a polar bear maybe 20 years ago.
Where's Miss Hope's?
I'm never going to be able to
knowledge
compete.
on a-
I'm not going to be able to compete with that, but I can try.
All right.
Roger Williams is buried
Next
in
up.
Detroit.
So
Oh,
is
Terry,
that,
come and have a
excuse me,
seat.
is that correct? Roger Williams is buried in Troy, New York. That's upstate New York. It's amazing.
No, it's Eastern.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's see. We are looking at considering the approval of the Director of Curriculum and Finances and Human Resources to purchase new curriculum stuff. Reading curriculum.
Yes,
It's a long one, so I didn't want to.
it is a lot. Essentially, this is a process that DESE has really driven. It is grant funded, by and large through the Accelerated Learning Grant, but there is a piece of it that will be funded through ESSER 3, but there is no money that will be impacted in the budget.
This is the grant that Maureen wrote.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the grant that Maureen wrote.
Perfect.
Excellent. Madam Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion that the Millis School Committee approve the Director of Curriculum and the Director of School Finance and Human Resources to purchase new DESE-approved reading curriculums for the elementary level not to exceed $144,000.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
You know that it's okay. When he writes them, we read them verbatim. Normally, yes.
Okay, next up. Consideration to approve the authorization of the Director of School Finance and Human Resources to pay the town of Millis up to $5,000 towards the replacement cost of electrified school zone signs.
Yeah, it actually will be exactly $5,000.
Okay.
You'll notice out on Plain Street, the two signs don't work, the safety signs. One of them was hit by a car. That's going to be covered by the town, and the town will pay the deductible on that. The other one, however, has failed, so unfortunately, the town can't claim insurance on that. The police department is ponying up some money, so the balance of the money, the $5,000 we were requested to pay, I think is pretty reasonable for us to kick in $5,000 for essentially both signs being replaced.
Yeah. These are the ones like on McCabe and what's the other street there?
Yeah, it's
On Plain.
they're
The yellow
Yeah.
yellow
flashing
signs,
ones.
flashing
Yeah,
yellow
yeah, yeah.
signs, say school is in session.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, the 20 mile
Not
an
the
hour.
so,
one.
yeah, not the
Not the
solar
solar ones.
Not
Okay,
solar ones.
okay,
Solar
okay.
ones are new, no.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So I don't know if you have seen these new signs. They have them in Sherburne on Route 16.
Oh yeah, the frowny face.
And they have frowny face or you're naughty
Naughty
around,
'cause you're
around the
cheating.
holiday time. They they have a message, but they also blink when you're going too fast. Are these,
I
is there a
don't
speed
believe these are
sign?
gonna do that. I know,
School zone signs.
yeah,
I like those signs. I've actually started to pay very close attention because normally the local police will also then set up right by those signs
and
too.
I know the chief and the DPW director did look at a variety of options.
Okay.
But I think because some of those options, quite frankly, the price starts to
Okay.
really skyrocket, that they really didn't feel that they could do that.
So let's get the school zone for now and then
Yeah.
worry about that in the future. But they are effective.
Yes,
I
no,
believe.
I agree with you. I've seen them too.
Yeah.
They are effective.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion that the Millis School Committee authorize the Director of School Finance and Human Resources to pay the town of Millis up to $5,000 towards the replacement cost of one electrified school zone sign, said funds to come from the School Choice Revolving Fund.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Are you not in favor?
No,
Motion carries unanimously. And let's see, consideration to purchase a replacement walk-in freezer refrigerator.
So this goes back to last fall's town meeting,
Yeah.
when the town passed a warrant article for $45,000 to replace the walk-in freezer and refrigerator here in this building. We thought we were all set. We thought we were going to be able to replace it within the constraints of the warrant article. And then unfortunately, the supplier, who was a state contractor, said, oops, sorry, can't do it. So we had to go back out for quotes. And the quote that came in was slightly higher than the warrant article. So hence, we're before you today, not only to expend the money that was allocated in the warrant article by the town, but also a slight additional amount that will come out of the food service revolving fund. The food service revolving fund, because of course the children have not been required to pay for lunches, and in fact we've gotten full reimbursement from the federal government on every single meal that we serve, whether it's breakfast or lunch, is doing quite well.
Great.
So we have plenty of money to handle the overage.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I'm prepared to make this motion, but before we do this, and if you need more time, say I need more time, that in the past, what have we carried in that account from year to year?
In the past, you have covered it out of the operating fund. What your goal is, and what your goal will for the first time, I think, since I've been here, and maybe since before that, is you want to have at least 3 months of operating funds in that fund.
How much is that roughly, do you know?
Roughly, that's going to be about $165,000. And if everything holds true, you're going to not only achieve that, you're going to be a little bit ahead of that.
And this is probably a longer conversation for sometime in June. I think two things. One, it would be good to have, and it's been a while, a revolving fund start and ending balance, and what, so we can have we've done this in the past.
Right.
And a projected end balance, knowing that there's always an
Right.
asterisk, but as we're in May, we're getting closer.
Right.
You'll have a pretty good idea if we do this in June.
Yep.
Are there, because we've never done this and we're using 3 months and we've used other benchmarks for the kindergarten revolving fund, we wanted to pay for a teacher and a para.
Right.
We've set, it's been a while since we've had these conversations, we've set sort of goals. But I'm also, if I recall from the capital planning committee, and correct me if I'm wrong, we have some other costs creeping up in that kitchen. And I think we've done some through some warrants and some other money. Are there any other projects that on the horizon, maybe we take advantage of this one-time surplus, not all of it, but is there anything coming down the pike that we're not doing something in September or October, which I think we had to do 2 years ago for
Well,
like 35 grand?
I'd actually answer it two ways. One, that's one of the reasons you want to keep at least 3 months of operating funds, because that also, it's part of what you have for that contingency. But I would say the two biggest things that were outstanding, you've taken care of in the town, frankly, to their credit, helped us take care of. One was the steamer kettle.
Yep.
That was a warrant article. The town, thankfully
remember that.
approved that. The capital planning saw the need. That is basically here, so to speak, and it's waiting to be installed. And then this is the second and probably the biggest thing. And that is essentially, with if you approve this tonight, we will be able to lock this order in. We will be able to get it here. Not 100% sure it'll be installed before the end of school, but that's okay. We'll install it over the summer and it'll be ready to rock and roll for the fall.
So that 3 months will give us that,
Yes.
so if something breaks, we
Oh,
have money
absolutely.
that we can fund immediately.
Absolutely.
And not have to go to the town, because the town did help us out. But if we can take care of it with this, a good ending of the year, right? that we finally
Absolutely,
have money.
it's going to be a good ending to the year. And again, typically speaking, your operating, or not your operating fund, but your food service revolving, even in a normal type of year where you have a mix of state reimbursement, federal reimbursement, and obviously your students buying meals and milk, is enough to take care of your staffing needs for the
Right.
most part. And we've been better and better about getting folks to understand, particularly those folks who have a legitimate right to free and reduced meals, but perhaps through pride or other reasons have not taken advantage of that. I think they're feeling more willing, even if we go back to that situation, to be willing to take those advantage of that right that they have. So I don't see us going back to the situation we were in. I see us being able to keep carrying a positive fund balance.
Good. Okay. Madam Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion that the Millis School Committee authorize the Director of School Finance and Human Resources to purchase a walk-in freezer/refrigerator combo unit from Janko Sales and Service for the installed price not to exceed $49,980. Funding to come from $45,000 allocated at the fall 2021 town meeting and $4,980 from the food service revolving account.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we have time on learning written down. Are we gonna skip that until Maureen comes back? Or do you wanna make a,
This,
you're gonna do a,
Actually, we may have one more.
one more what?
We have
Did I skip something?
the MOU, the MOA.
That's under the chair's report.
Is it?
We're not there yet. We're getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Do you wanna?
yeah, just, first of all, I have some sad news to report this morning. Longtime Clyde F. Brown, Spanish immersion paraprofessional, Yannette Alonso, passed away. And our deepest condolences go out to her family. Yannette was, worked at Clyde Brown for 20 years, helping generations of Millis students. She loved her work here at the Clyde Brown, at the Millis schools, and so our deepest sympathies go out to her family. Her two sons graduated from Millis High School, Jerry and Justin, so our deepest condolences go out to them. And curriculum update, Maureen Knowlton was scheduled to present kind of a summary of the year. She's unable to attend this evening, so we've pushed that to the 24th, but I just want to acknowledge some more work that Maureen Knowlton has done for the district. We just talked about the $140,000 she was able to secure through the Accelerated Learning Grant. She's also was able to secure funding in the amount of $12,452.40 to pilot some math materials at the high school. So the Millis High School Math PLC team reviewed a number of approved math programs and selected, along with the administration, materials for core programs in Algebra 1 and Geometry from the McGraw-Hill Reveal program. And this includes a one-year digital subscription, so in 2022, 2023, next year, and some consumable materials, workbooks, etc., and professional development. And so we're very excited about that. And should this be something that we want to continue in the future, there would be a cost to the district, a one-year cost of $7,000 for 23-24, or if we thought it would be more cost-effective and something that would benefit the district, $17,000 for a 3-year subscription. So, you know,
That's
again,
great.
very good,
Yeah, that's
very
great.
good work
Yeah.
on Maureen's behalf.
Okay, for the chair report, we have our collective bargaining agreement with the Millis Teachers Association for Unit A.
Mark, want me to?
I'll do it. So we concluded collective bargaining with the Millis Teachers Association Unit A. They have actually ratified the contract, I think it was yesterday.
Yes.
And the highlights, the financial terms were cost of living adjustments of 2.5% for each of the 3 years. Again, it's next year, the year after that. So, it's, and those were the highlights. Again, it was, you know, a cordial and probably one of the easily the quickest settled contract I've done in. This was my 4th.
This is my third, yeah.
Yeah, easily the quickest and smoothest, and a lot of that goes to the relationship between the committee and the union reps. That's built over a number of years, but especially in the last few. Not to say that it's, you know, everything, everybody sees eye to eye on everything all the time, but it's a very good relationship where it is right now, and hopefully it will stay that way for going forward. So
I think it's a good working relationship, and if you can say, and I'm hesitant to say anything positive coming out of COVID, but I think it's built up because of the constant meetings that we've had. There's a level of trust. I also think that this contract is fair to both sides. I think it's fair to the union, and I think it's fair to the district, and I think we're really responsible and fiscally responsible around this contract, and Mr. Mullaney and Terry were very helpful, especially Terry with running projections, and we knew exactly what we needed to look for and how to get there, and that was very helpful. So, but a good experience overall.
So, Madam Chair,
Mr.
I would
Conlon.
make a motion that the Millis School Committee ratify the memorandum of agreement with the Millis Teachers Association
As presented.
as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, next up we have the MSBA update. I don't think there's much to update. We haven't gotten any more information
No.
from them as to the next steps. We're still
Right,
waiting
our
to hear.
eligibility period doesn't start till July 1st. They'll
Yeah.
probably contact us sometime in June.
Yeah.
And again, I was at a superintendent's meeting today, and talking to Superintendent Canton. Their eligibility period just started in May, so they have 3 cycles. We're in the 3rd cycle.
Okay, so next couple over the summer we'll get more information.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Mullaney, you are up with your superintendent's
Okay,
report.
The May enrollment, we have, over the course of the month, increased our enrollment district-wide by 3 students. And, you know, again, we have, we're still enrolling, kids are still coming in and enrolling, and we're taking them.
There you go.
So,
All right. And correspondence, do we have any correspondence? No, nothing on there this week?
I think, I think we did it at the last meeting.
Okay.
Kyle Cares,
right.
the donation to the
Okay.
Samaritans on behalf
Perfect.
of Millis
All
from
right.
Kyle Cares.
That looks like everything on our agenda.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Conroy.
I would make a motion that we adjourn to executive session for the purpose of contract negotiations for union and non-union personnel, not to return to open session.
Second. But before we go,
Yeah.
can I acknowledge that Mr. Conroy handily won re-election. He beat out the blanks by 500 votes.
Yeah.
And so
Blank keeps
those
coming back.
blanks there, never ending. I also think it's important that I support Mark. He's a friend and he's a colleague, and it's clear that you don't govern through Facebook. You actually pull papers, you run a campaign, and you sit in these seats and do your job. And I want to thank Mark. He's entering his 13th year on the committee. And once again, there's an election every May. Feel free to pull papers and actually do it in the room opposed to online. That's just my thought.
Yeah, congrats, Mark.
I seconded it.
Oh, you seconded. Okay, I was like, did I second that? And this is a roll call vote,
Yes.
right? Okay, Mr. Conroy.
Aye.
I am an aye. And Mr. Catalano.
Aye.
We are adjourned until for 2 weeks. We'll come back.
May
Yeah.
24th.
May 24th.
May 24th. All right.